Stress is not the problem. I know that sounds strange, coming from someone who has worked in emergency rooms and high-pressure clinical environments for years. But hear me out. Stress itself is not what destroys me. What destroys people is what they do with it. More accurately, what they don't. As a nurse, I've seen stress handled well, and I've seen it handled terribly. The difference between those two outcomes isn't how much stress someone has. It's whether they have a system for releasing it before it builds into something that breaks it. Today, I'm sharing what nurses know about stress that most people never learn. And the exact system I use to stay grounded when life, work, are pressing from every direction. My name is Brian. This is The Grounded Life. Let's get into it. Let me start with what stress actually does to the body, because understanding this changed how seriously I take stress management. When you experience stress, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises. Your body enters a state of heightened alertness, designed to help you respond to a threat. That's useful in the short term. Your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Problem is when that state becomes chronic, when the stress never gets released, when the cortisol stays elevated day after day, week after week, month after month. Chronic elevated cortisol damages your immune system. It increases inflammation throughout the body. It disrupts sleep, impairs cognitive function, contributes to cardiovascular disease, weight gain, anxiety, depression, and a long list of conditions I've treated in clinical settings. I've seen what long-term unmanaged stress looks like in a patient's chart. And I decided a long time ago that I was going to take this seriously, not just for performance, but for longevity reasons. Your body keeps score, and stress that never gets released always finds a way out, usually through your health, your relationships, or your mental state. Here's the most common stress mistake I see people make. They bottle it up. They hold all of it in. They push through. They tell themselves they're fine. They keep adding to the pile. Another hard shift, another difficult conversation, another disappointment, another demand, without ever releasing any. And then one day, without much warning, explodes. Are they burnout or both? Burnout is not a sudden event. It's a slow accumulation of unreleased stress that finally hits a tipping point. And by the time most people recognize it, they're already deep in it. Nurses see this all the time, and patients and in each other. Healthcare is one of the biggest burnout professions in the world, precisely because the emotional and physical demands are enormous, and the culture often rewards pushing through over taking care of yourself. I felt the early signs of burnout, the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, the emotional flatness, the feeling of going through the motion. And I learned early that the only way to prevent it from going further is to build a consistent release valve into your life before the pressure builds to it. Not after the explosion, before it. So here's what I actually do to manage stress. And I want to be clear, this isn't a theory. This is what works for me after years of working in high pressure environments. First, physical movement every single day. The gym 5 to 6 days a week. A walk in the morning before the heat hits. Another walk in the evening when the sun is setting. Movement is my primary stress relief valve, and nothing else comes close. Here's why this works from a clinical standpoint. Exercise metabolizes the cortisol and adrenaline that stress produces. It literally turns off the chemical byproducts of stress. When you work out or go for a walk after a hard day, you are not just clearing your head, you're chemically processing the stress your body has accumulated. That's not motivational content. That's physiology. Second, intentional decompression. After a hard shift or a hard day, I give myself permission to decompress. Sometimes that's music. Sometimes it's turning on a show and letting my brain take a break from processing. Not every moment has to be productive. Recovery is part of performance. The mistake people make is feeling guilty about rest. But rest is not laziness, it's maintenance. You wouldn't run an engine without oil and call it discipline. Don't do it to yourself either. Third, faith as a daily anchor. Every single day I listen to the Bible and prayers. Not as a religious obligation, as a stress management strategy. And that works better than anything else I've found. Here's what it does for me specifically. It reminds me daily that God is good, that He doesn't give us more than we can handle, that the things stressing me out today are not the final word on my life, that I can forgive the people who contribute to my stress and release their negative influence over my emotions. That last one is huge. One of the biggest sources of stress for most people is other people. The difficult coworker, the frustrating manager, the person who treated you unfairly, and carrying that stress. Letting other people rent-free in your head is a choice you make every day, even if it doesn't feel like one. Faith teaches me to forgive, not for their sake, for mine. Because unforgiveness is a stress I carry and they don't feel. Releasing it is not weakness, it's wisdom. Matthew 11:28-29 says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened. I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul." Rest for your souls, not just rest for your body, not just a good night's sleep. Rest at the soul level, the kind that comes from trusting that the weight you're carrying doesn't have to be carried alone. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. All of it. Not just the big stuff, not just the crisis, all of it. The difficult shift, the frustrating relationship, the financial pressure, uncertainty about the future. All of it in something God invites you to. I'm not saying prayer replaces exercise or rest or good self-care. I'm saying that faith adds a dimension to stress management that nothing else can provide. The peace that Paul describes in Philippians 4:7 that surpasses all understanding is real. I've experienced it, and it's available to you. You are not designed to carry everything, and you don't have to. Here's how to build your own stress release system before burnout forces you to. Number 1, move your body every day. Walk, gym, run, swim, whatever works for you. Make it non-negotiable. This is your primary chemical release style for stress, and nothing replaces it. Number 2, build intentional decompression into your routine. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Music, a show, a walk without a podcast. Whatever lets your brain take a break. Recovery is part of the process. Number 3, anchor yourself in daily faith. Start your day with the word before the stress of the day arrives. Let God's truth be the first voice you hear, and practice releasing the stress that comes from other people through forgiveness. Not for them, for you. Number 4, don't wait for burnout to take this seriously. Build these habits now before the pressure gets too high. Prevention is always easier than recovery. I know that as a nurse, and know that as a human. Here's your action step. Look at your week and identify one stress release valve that's missing. One thing you're not doing that you know you should. Commit to adding it this week. Just one. Build from me. I've worked some of the most stressful environments in healthcare. ER nursing, travel nursing, leadership roles that tested my patience and my sin. And I'm standing here healthy, grounded, and grateful, not because my life is stress-free, but because I built a system for handling it before it handled me. Stress is not going away. Life is not going to get easier, but you can build yourself into someone who handles it well. And the earlier you start, the better. If this video helped you, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. Tell me your biggest source of stress right now and how you're dealing with it. I'll read every single one. Coming up next on The Ground of Life, how to hear God when life is loud. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for being here. God bless you. And I'll see you on the next.